Well, I think.
All right. Two.
Hi, everybody. I think we've got Arnie and Mike, but I think Arnie's going off to the Tesla earnings call.
Oh, is he?
Oh,
Okay.
well, priorities, I suppose.
Well, he's
What's
on
more important,
Starlink,
really?
so I guess he's very
Hey,
interested
I'm on
in.
Starlink too.
Oh, it's Tim Van Ram. Hi, Tim Van Ram.
Hey,
This is the Starlink wave.
it is.
No,
What is that?
I just made it up. It's the dish going from the stowed position to the active. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just being an idiot. It's what I do well.
I thought I missed out on something meaningful and important.
No,
It's like a secret handshake, but
Right?
is exactly what that is.
It's so secret that nobody knows what it is.
Yeah, I just made it up.
Great.
You want to join my little secret club, my secret handshake? Yeah.
Sure.
No.
Sure.
Oh boy.
so,
So hello
everybody.
everyone.
Hello.
Yes, here we have
Hello,
Mike
hello.
Kuipers. Thanks for joining us, Michael, and Arnie. And I guess Arnie, you're a fellow Starlink user,
Starlinkian.
Starlinkian.
Starlinker.
And Mark Anderson, hello.
I hell boxes.
Hellbox.
iHaul boxes. What would a show be without iHaul boxes?
I don't think he
Oh,
actually
I think
works.
maybe good.
Whoa.
Just kidding. I'm just
Burn,
kidding.
baby.
No, yeah,
Ouch.
burn. No, we really appreciate your presence, sir.
Yes.
With
All
lots
of you,
of
in
chuckles.
fact. All of you.
Yeah, you are all making us chuckle.
So
Chuckleheads.
we're gonna aim to do an hour this evening with Steffi, and then tomorrow morning, the two Nicks and Jeff are going to do another couple of hours. That's the plan.
Yep.
Yep,
It's a good.
that is our plan. Yeah, because somebody, the person in charge with making my flying schedule, really hosed it up.
And who would that be?
That would be me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still learning, and you know what? I found out it doesn't matter how damn
Well, I think you've got what, another
senior
year.
you
You've
are.
got another year and a half to figure it out.
It doesn't matter how senior you are. You can still screw it up.
I think you've
funny
got
because
another year and a half to figure it out.
A little over a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Nick messaged me and said, "How can this happen to Jeff? He's so senior." And I said,
It's because it's not. I mean, even like next month, I calculated everything I thought perfectly. You know, taking into account all the different. Anyway, turns out I miscalculated by a few minutes, and they assigned a trip that I didn't bid for at the end of the month. It's not that bad of a trip, so I'll probably keep it. But I could. Oh no, today was the day I was supposed to drop it. Okay, I guess I'm flying it. Yeah,
"Get this show on
So-
the road."
Sure.
we should. Yes.
And we're not going to
So-
start with the intro today.
Yeah, we're not doing the intro. We're going to just start with Steph's intro sounder, which means I got to get my script up because I still, even after all these years.
Got your recording on, Jeff? Your recorder?
No, I don't. Yes, yes, I do.
Good. Okay. It's good.
How dare you ask?
Mike Kuiper says you had a senior moment, Jeff.
I'm having most of my moments are senior moments these days. I'm starting to wonder. I remember I was jump seating on a 777 a few years back when I was going out to see my mom in California, and these guys were like 64. They're both 64, I think. Maybe one was 63 and a half. And I was sitting there in amazement on the jump seat, like, wow, if I get like this, somebody needs to say, hey,
Excuse
Jeff,
me.
you need to get out of here. Get out of the seat and get into your RV, and so you're not going to be a threat to people in the world. Oh, is this on? Is this live? Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm making that up. Yeah.
Sorry,
Or
I'm
maybe-
trying to get my recorder started, but it reset all the settings and asked if I wanted to download the new version.
Don't worry about it. You're good.
Okay. Well, I can maybe fix
I mean, if you want to, you can. Oh, don't do the new version. The version 4.
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah,
I didn't.
because I did, and I'm using version 4 right now, and they added some nice little things that I've been hoping that they would add. So, but it's more for the kind of thing that I do, using it as a virtual mixer than for the kind of stuff that you guys use it for just recording stuff. So I don't think that's really a major issue.
Oh, no, but just every once in a while it resets all my settings as well.
Oh, well, that's
so that's what
always
it did,
a
and
good
that's what
thing.
I was trying to fix.
It just wants you to make sure that you understand how all these settings work.
Yes.
So it's just a mental exercise.
Well, fortunately, I have this sticky note that I've had forever.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And it
it's
just
helpful.
lives here.
Interesting.
Okay, so I'm going to go into the background. Have a good show, you guys. I'll let you know how the time's
Okay,
going.
that's
Bye.
right, because you were introduced at the show that we haven't done yet. Okay.
It's also clear.
Yeah. All right. And I love that beeping noise.
Nothing I can do about that.
Oh, I
You
know.
can blame the people that bought that piece of land and want to build a house on the side of a
I-
hill with no yard and no water access.
Do you have some kind of a
For a lot of
rifle
money,
or something
apparently.
that you could
No
fire at the
comments.
little module that
That makes the beeping.
is making that beeping noise?
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm trying to do a podcast here. Can you
There's
please
some sort of
stop
city
backing up?
ordinance that says discharging of firearms is illegal inside city limits.
Yeah, but there are a lot of ordinances that I know that you've broken stuff.
Oh. Mhm. I know the
So,
ordinances.
yeah, I can hear you.
And we're
But for some
live.
why are you so faint?
who? Me?
No,
Oh.
Liz. I don't know. It's like in the settings are not anything like. Well, anyway. Okay. I think I might be ready now. And go. All right. Here we go. And also joining us from her lakeside studio in South. Darn it. All right. That was just a rehearsal.
I like it. It's a good
Take
start.
one. Take two. Oh, whoa, look here. Look who's joining us from our lakeside studio in South. It's a doctor, skydiver, marathon runner, strength training junkie, IPA connoisseur, and commercial multi-engine instrument rated backstabbing jumper dumper. Dr. Steph.
It's a tongue twister, all of those
It
things. I know it. Hey, I missed you guys. Sorry, we're kind of doing this a little bit separately, and but good to be here. Glad to be back on the show and add a little bit in.
I know, like, where were you? We were, Nick and myself and Liz were recording part one of this episode 518, and you were nowhere to be found. So I'm glad that we finally found you, and you were finally joining us.
I'm not lost anymore.
No,
I mean, I'm lost, but
you were
that's
lost.
a different story.
But am found.
Yes. Apologies for the beeping if you're listening to this. There's some construction happening in my neighborhood, and it's quite close to my house, and apparently they're going to work until, like, I don't know, the sun goes down. I'm not sure.
I was thinking maybe it was some kind of a bomb threat or something, or some kind of like the thing is about to go off, and
It might
maybe
be.
MacGyver.
MacGyver's
needs-
here.
Yeah.
You got Hillel in your bathroom. MacGyver's in my bathroom right now.
Wow.
I mean,
Can I trade you?
no,
Okay.
with all respect to Hillel.
Okay. Yeah, Hillel. Don't take that the wrong way.
No.
You're much better than MacGyver, I'm sure. All right. So we set
I
aside.
just don't know how Hillel does with bomb defusal. That's all. That's all I meant. I don't know if it's part of his skill set.
That has never come up in conversation.
Okay, we'll have to find out.
That's weird, huh? Anyway, let's go ahead and do a news item that we kind of held for you. And it's, you know what? It's kind of a big deal, Steph. Just recently, the Biden administration is no longer enforcing a U.S. mask mandate on public transportation after a federal judge in Florida ruled that the directive was unlawful, overturning a key White House effort to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Okay, that's one way to put it. Airlines welcomed the move on Monday by saying they would no longer require masks. Let's see, here's a couple little snippets from various news releases from various major airlines in the U.S. From Alaska Airlines, face masks have been like boarding passes for nearly 2 years. You couldn't fly without one. But as of today, masks are optional in airports and onboard aircraft, effective immediately. While we are glad this means many of us get to see your smiling faces, we understand some might have mixed feelings. Please remember to be kind to one another and that wearing a mask while traveling is still an option. Why would the people not wearing a mask be unkind to people wearing a mask? I don't get that. Well, anyway, American Airlines
Have you
says-
met people, Jeff?
Well, yeah, I have. I try to stay away from people as much as
So
possible.
you get to stay on the other side of that door. It's
Yeah.
it's a nice, quiet place up there once that door's closed. Hopefully.
Oh, wait. Hillel is
Oh,
in
he
our
does.
live
Look
chat
at that.
room, and he does know something about.
He's got a
Bomb
diffusal manual. All right.
I
All right.
think
You're
actually-
hired, Hillel. You're hired.
Actually, I think he's the author of said manual.
MacGyver, get out. Sorry. Not needed anymore.
MacGyver, get out of here. Okay. American says face masks will no longer be required for our customers and team members at U.S. airports and on domestic flights. Please note, face masks may still be required based on local ordinances or when traveling to or from certain international locations based on country requirements. Yeah. Delta Airlines, the sister airline of Acme, effective immediately, masks are optional for all airport employees, crew members, and customers inside U.S. airports and onboard aircraft. We are relieved to see the U.S. mask mandate lift to facilitate global travel as COVID-19 has transitioned to an ordinary seasonal virus. Thank you for your support in complying with the federal mask mandate and keeping each other and our customers safe during the pandemic. Yeah, you get the idea. There are several other little quotes here from various airlines in the Airlines for America Industry Trade Group, and if you want to read them, maybe you already have by now, we'll have this article in the show notes. So what say you, Steph? Did you... Oh, you know what? When you were... we're going to talk about what you've been doing since the last episode, but... and I don't think the mandate occurred...
It occurred later that evening.
Oh,
it came down
man,
later
you
that
just
evening.
missed it.
That's okay. I would have worn my mask anyway.
Okay.
Because, just I think everyone has to assess their own level of comfort and risk still. But I think this day has probably been a little longer in the making than maybe it should have been based on recent caseloads, especially in our part of the world here. You know, if you look at I think you have to look at things a little bit differently now. So some of the airlines made the point that, and I don't think I'd say quite so certainly yet that it's transitioned to a normal seasonal virus. I wouldn't call COVID that. I think there's a lot that we don't know about it yet. But I think we're at the point where everyone needs to assess their own individual risk level. And if you're someone who's a very high risk, if you think the potential threat to you is high for where you're planning to travel, where you might be going, or people you might be interacting with, maybe you take that into account before you decide to go places, travel, resume some of these normal activities. I think for a lot of other people, they've been doing almost back to normal life for quite a long time now, with very little in the way of consequences that they've seen, and they can make their own decisions as to how they'd like to proceed. I know airlines are very excited for this because basically they've been, airline employees and the TSA and everyone else have kind of been turned into the cops regarding this measure, and it's not something that they signed up to do necessarily. So I can certainly understand their joy and happiness at seeing this no longer be a federal mandate that they have to enforce. I think there's going to be a lot of potentially mixed feelings. I know certainly, in my day-to-day job, I don't work in infectious diseases, but we see things all across the board from, all different walks of the population. Some people are very comfortable not wearing a mask anymore. Some people want to make sure that everyone around them is still wearing a mask. So I think that's going to be the case for a while still, and everyone's just got different individual circumstances and different risk tolerances. So, like the ones that what was the one quote from Alaska? Be kind to one another. If someone's wearing a mask, that's their option, their choice. It's not doing anything that harms you. So.
Do you have a mask there handy, Steph?
Nope. Sure don't.
Okay, so let's pretend you're wearing a mask right now, and we're sitting next to each other on the airplane. Okay, here we go.
All you're going to be able to see is this for me.
Okay, I'm giving Steph the stink eye.
Don't worry, I
don't
give
do
a
that.
pretty good stink eye back.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's my being. Oh shoot, that's the opposite of being kind, Liz.
We can still be passive aggressive though, right?
I misunderstood. Here, okay, let's try it again.
Can we just be passive aggressive?
Oh, well, we do that very well. Okay, here. There we go. That's my kind look. to
Nothing
Steph.
says I'm judging you quite like squinty eyes over the top of a mask or with your glasses lowered.
All right. Well, that's enough. But
I was going to make one more point.
Yes.
I started to touch on it, and I think I started talking about something else. But so I did read an interesting article in a large nationwide news publication recently that kind of posited that maybe we should be looking more at hospitalization rates related to COVID these days as opposed to just infectious rates, because those two things have become very different, and that might be a better barometer if you're someone who's not sure how to kind of navigate all the waters of the information that we're kind of inundated with on a daily basis regarding this virus.
That's great advice.
I think it's a good
I
barometer
think
of
some
what
people
to
were
watch.
saying that for quite some time, actually. Anyway, not to get political. We don't want to do that on this show,
No.
for sure. Anyway, so thank you, Steph, for your comments regarding that. And now let's do a little bit of feedback. No, let's find out what you have been hang on. I have this little thing. It's brand new. I've never used it before. And it's called Getting to Know Us. Oh, wait a minute. I have used this before, haven't I?
It sounds vaguely familiar to me.
Yes.
I mean, I know I haven't been here in a while, but I think I do remember this.
Really? Oh,
Maybe.
Okay. I thought it was a new thing.
Maybe.
Anyway, it is, of course, our little sound clip that we play for our Getting to Know Us segment. Now, I know we've already talked about Getting to Know Us earlier in the show, but hey, we didn't hear from Steph. And I think Steph has been doing a lot of fun, interesting stuff since she's last been with us. So go ahead.
When was I last with the show?
I don't know. Were
I'm
you
not
on the
sure
last
either.
show?
No,
I
I
don't
was
think
not on the last show.
Oh,
That was last week on
the one
Thursday.
before last, I think.
Because you guys did that one in the middle of the day, and I was at work. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one
well, wait
we-
a minute. So we haven't heard about your
I went to Mexico.
skydiving thing. We don't have any pictures from that. Darn
no,
it.
and for good reason, because we had a
They were
very
naked.
we were naked.
No, that's not
True.
the
No,
reason.
we were not naked. It was very
Oh.
hot though, so not a lot of clothing. It was shorts and t-shirt weather for sure. On the Pacific coast of southern Mexico. Very nice, cute. We were in Puerto Escondido, a cute kind of beach touristy destination, big surfing destination. So I was there for a wedding, and the wedding happened on Friday. I flew down Thursday. I think we did the show the day before that, but I could be wrong on that. Someone will correct me if that's not the
I
case.
don't remember.
I don't
Doesn't
remember
matter.
either. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I flew down on Thursday. Should have had plenty of time to make my connection in Mexico City, but my flight departed late for unknown reasons, about 45 minutes or so. I apologize for the barking dog in the background. It's going to be all kinds of ambiance here today, folks. And had a connection in Mexico City and had about an hour by the time my flight got to the gate to go through customs, immigration, figure out if I needed to check a bag or not, because there was some question about that with traveling with skydiving gear. One of the folks who had been there before said, Mexico asked that you put that in your checked luggage and not in your carry-on luggage. But I
Were
could
they
not find
right?
any. No, they were wrong. I couldn't
Okay.
find any official guidance on that anywhere, which, who knows if I just missed it or it wasn't printed. But because I was told that, I was trying to get my bag checked in. So I went to the counter and they kind of looked at me and said, well, nope, you're too late. You can't check anything in for this flight because it's leaving in like 25 minutes. So you should just take everything with you to the gate. I said, okay, thanks. And went right through security. No problem. They didn't even bat an eyelid at the contents of my carry-on luggage. And got to the gate. The flight was supposed to have been boarding for like 40 minutes already, and it had not started boarding yet. But somehow we left on time. That's the amazing thing to me about travel in other parts of the world. Everyone just gets on the plane with little to no fuss, and they shut the door right behind the last person, and you go. Yeah, that was...
It's a way to do it.
Yeah, it was very efficient. So yeah, I got there. We did a rehearsal dinner on the beach, which was very nice. Friday was the wedding that I was attending, a very fun wedding, small wedding, destination wedding, mostly close friends and family. And we did some skydiving while we were there. A large number of the attendees are skydivers. So one of our friends, though, is a very talented photographer. So he has some very high quality, nice photos that I think he is trying to submit for publication. So that's why I don't have those to share as of yet.
Gotcha.
But they're excellent photos, and I will share them when I get a chance to, when I get the okay. So
Okay.
we
Non-disclosure agreement that you had to sign?
No, and he actually did give us the okay to share to like our personal pages, but I just figured it's probably best just to not until
Right. Oh,
until
yeah.
I know what happens with those pictures. So
Better safe than sorry.
Sure. We did some surfing as well. That was a lot of fun. And actually, everyone was pretty good at surfing. We got some video from that too. I should probably share some of those photos, but I haven't had a chance to go through and kind of edit it and edit out the parts that only show us because it was kind of everyone that was surfing at the beach. The guy that was flying his drone there, I think someone paid him to get the copy of the video, so it wasn't really associated with the surfing lessons that we were taking. It was just some private guy at the beach doing his own photography. And what else did we do? I guess that was most of it. Yeah,
Hall
good
Boxes
food.
is wondering about how long on a skydiving wedding you only have about 45 seconds to say yes.
To say yes.
And you know what really messes it up with one of those skydivers that like when does anybody have any objections and they go yeah I do, and then that screws up. Okay, do we have to go back in the airplane?
Do it again.
and
Yeah.
do this again.
Another jump. Yeah.
It's always a mess.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the ceremony itself was very nice. It was on the beach at sunset. It was very picturesque and yeah, it was really nice. It was really beautiful. So and that beach was, I'll tell you what, we were the only people on that beach for miles, like looking up and down the beach. It was crazy. It was very
Nice.
very nice. So there was that. And then I had a very similar situation on the way back. My flight departing Puerto Escondido got very delayed leaving to the point where it looked like I was not going to make the connection. But did end up making the connection. Came in arrival in Mexico City into gate number 2, leaving out of gate number 36, which in Terminal 1 are complete opposite ends of the airport. So I ran. It's about a half a mile, carrying all my stuff, and got to the gate right as boarding started.
But running. You have
At
to
altitude.
run?
At altitude. So I got some altitude training.
Yeah.
So it's like almost 7,000 feet there in Mexico City.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Yeah.
pretty high up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got back home, had enough time to work for 2 days, turned around, and then went to Boston. And why was I in Boston? Has to do with running.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. There's a marathon thing that they do every year. Oh, look at this. We have some pictures from some selfies that you took of yourself right before, I guess. You
One is
ran
right
the
before
marathon?
and one is right after.
Ah, I thought
So
so.
the one that says Athletes Village is in Hopkinton, and they bus you out to the start. And I've heard tales of buses getting lost in the past, and our bus driver tried her hardest to get us lost on the way to this high school where they drop you off. She was following the whole line of school buses, and all of a sudden one of them decided to get off on 95 South when really it was supposed to be 495 South, and everybody on the bus went, "Wait a minute! No, you're going the wrong way. We've done this before.
You're
We all
going the
knew."
wrong way.
So there was a girl up front trying to read, and the Boston Athletic Association provided step-by-step written instructions for how to get from pickup to drop off. And it was a lot of instructions, but really there were like 3 main takeaways, but I guess they were just following each other and not really reading the instructions. I don't know.
Yeah.
But myself and another lady basically spoon-fed the instructions and were very forceful about, yes, we promise you are going the right way now. You can ignore those
Hey.
other buses that we just left behind because they're going the wrong way. We promise.
Written instructions are for chumps.
Right. I don't know. We made it.
And people that want to actually get to the destination.
Yes. So, no, I was quite glad I got on an early bus because if I had been on a later bus and that happened, I would have been stressing a little bit. But plenty of time. You want to be there at the start. Do your pre-start ritual stuff. Just find a moment of peace and zen, and think about your race, and use the porta potties because the lines and the queues can be quite long for those. And get to the start on time. Everyone's got has a defined start time. So it was fun. There were a couple of APG listeners out on the course.
Oh, cool.
I know I saw some feedback. Oh, there was someone who had messaged me on Twitter. They were at mile 6, and I did not see them. I'm sorry. And someone else I think we have that in our feedback, so maybe I'll hold off on that for a second. I think it's number 4.
Okay.
But yes, we have some feedback from someone else who was on the
Well, you know
course.
what?
and
Let's
I'll
just
address
do
that.
it. Well, since we're
You wanna
already
just
talking
jump into
about
it?
the marathon,
Okay.
let's
Well-
just do it for.
Yeah, okay. Because I really don't have much else beyond that except for the marathon went well. I had a course personal best time by about 14 minutes. Not a personal best time overall in the marathon. It's a tough course out there, but it was a good day. I had a very, very solid first half. I'll say that much.
Did you kind of like go too hard in that first half, you think?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But so I'll say this too. People have asked me before about toenail issues, and generally I don't have a lot of toenail issues with running. The last time I did was on a fast downhill course. And I've done this course before, and I've done other downhill courses recently in the same shoes and had no problem. And I think it was just because I was pushing a bit harder than usual. I think my toes were hitting the front of my shoes pretty substantially. And I have one very ugly looking toenail right now.
Oh.
And I think that was part of my problem on the second half where you end up going uphill because I was having a lot of pain in those toes trying to toe off and push up the hill. So I think that was part of the issue as well.
Now, when you say toe off, you don't mean like the toe comes off.
No. I mean,
Okay,
like
good.
push off your toes.
Good. Oh, that's only after the marathon. Then the toe comes off.
Well, usually just
After
the
a few days.
toenail.
Oh, just a toenail. Okay, good.
It's not
Good.
quite so dramatic.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Did you want
I
to jump into that?
Yeah, I told you we should do that.
Yeah.
I'll get it. Told you. Okay. Let's do item number, feedback number 4. And I'm just trying to find Evernote. Here we go. This is from Mike. He says, "Hey, gang, and especially Dr. Steph. I was at the Boston Marathon watching a friend's daughter run, Olivia Becker. She and Dr. Steph were in the same wave, number 3. Wave
Woohoo!
3.
Best wave.
Yay.
Just kidding.
Oh, that's surfing, too. Is that like,
Yeah.
did you?
It's
yeah.
a theme. Yeah.
Yeah. They have a great app for following the runner, so I made sure I punched in Dr. Steph. See the screenshot below, and now we're showing that on the screen if you're watching the video. Let's see. We were in Wellesley at the halfway point just before the Scream Tunnel. Okay. Does everybody scream when they're running through the tunnel?
No. So Wellesley College, all of the girls from Wellesley College come out and line the street and they scream for hours. Just cheers and encouragement. And it's kind of a famous point where people will pull over to the side and kiss some of the girls who are out there cheering and yelling. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Okay.
It's quite loud. It's quite energetic.
Okay.
Very fast.
Interesting. Let's see. I looked for Steph, but I didn't see her. A lot of runners going by, and it's hard to read a 5-digit bib number. But I was there for her anyway.
Thank you, Mike.
Yay! I took a bunch of video about the time she should have passed by. So I'll look through my videos to see if I can see her. What were you wearing?
Go back to the previous picture.
Oh, that's right. Well, okay. Yeah, look at the previous picture. There we go.
Not
She
the
was
gray
wearing-
sweatshirt I was wearing. I'll have to get a different picture. The green tank, and it says O'Leary Racing Team. That's my coach.
Ah,
So
I get it. O'Leary, kind of a Boston thing.
he's from Boston.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know why I knew that. I didn't, actually. Let's see. We hopped in the car and drove into Boston, so we were at the tunnel under Mass Avenue just before the runners make their last right and left turns to the finish to watch again. Anyway, congratulations on another finish, Dr. Steph. If you do it again, let me know, and we'll be sure to try to find you after. A family meeting area is the best spot. And if you need anything brought to the finish, like a jacket or pants, we can probably help with that.
Yeah, I tend to
Mike
lose my
Smith.
jacket and my pants. No, just kidding.
Yeah, we've heard that.
Yeah. No,
It
thanks,
has
Mike.
nothing to do with marathons.
Nothing. Yeah, right. Totally different thing. No, thanks, Mike. Thanks for being out there. You know, the crowds this year were absolutely phenomenal. It was nice to have the race back on Patriots Day. That's usually when the race is held, that holiday up in Massachusetts. Has not been held on Patriots Day for, I guess, since 2019 because of the pandemic. They didn't have the race in 2020. And then last year they pushed it to October. So it was on Columbus Day last year. But yeah, the crowds were the best I've seen at Boston. So thank you for being out there. It made a big difference, especially when we were, for those of us who were struggling in the latter half of the race.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah?
I was going to finish up the rest of my travel story here because he mentioned he tried to find after the race and the family meeting spot. So I had almost more difficulty with my travel back from Boston on Monday night than I had going to and from Mexico with my delayed flights. I got a message I was flying home with JetBlue on Monday evening, and had a message from them on Sunday night that my flight was canceled. I went, great.
Oh, that's nice.
Lovely. So I'm supposed to be at work on Tuesday morning. The latest flight I could take back was that JetBlue flight. There was actually a later Delta flight, but by the time I got around to booking my travel, it was already sold out. So I didn't quite get that opportunity. But the flight before that was an American flight at 4:35 p.m. So I jumped on the website really quick and booked that flight thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not sure how I'm going to make a 4:35 p.m. flight when my race starts at 10:50 in the morning. I'm like doing the math backwards. I'm like, man, if I run a 4-hour marathon, so like let's just be realistic, I could easily run a 4-hour marathon. That's about the slowest I could run and make this flight. So I ran at 3:44. I finished at 2:35 p.m. I was staying with my cousin who wasn't checking out that night, but I took my bags to a friend's hotel who was just past the finish line on Boylston Street. I took my bags there in the morning, dropped my bags off at his hotel. After I finished, went back to that hotel, grabbed my bags, got right back on the T on the subway, and went to the airport, went straight to the gate, and got on the airplane.
Woohoo!
Made it.
Steph does it again.
And then they were trying to tell me that they had sold out of the IPAs on the flight, but they managed to find one more.
Oh, good.
It's like, thank goodness.
That's
It would've
good.
been
What kind of
tragic.
IPA do they have? The Goose Island?
Goose Island, yeah. It's all right. I'll take it.
Sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll do.
Yeah, it worked. And then
That's
I passed
awesome.
out as soon as I finished the beer.
So how do you feel about this marathon? You feel pretty good, or?
It was a tough one, man. You can look at
Yeah.
it. You put that picture up with my that Mike shared with my times, and you can see where it kind of like falls off the cliff there after the halfway point. Yeah, it was the last half was tough for sure. I actually had a half marathon personal best time in this race, so my halfway split was the fastest I've ever run a half marathon. But I'm glad I went for it. I was really trying for a really big personal best time, and
Yeah.
I didn't quite get there, but you learn something from every race.
Awesome. And Mike Smith, I was thinking, wait a minute, isn't he the Sonics pilot? I think he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cool.
thanks for chiming in, Mike, and hopefully next year you'll see Dr. Steph and get to meet up with her and give her some pants to wear. All right. Let's move on to item number 3. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've said that.
I'm not wearing any pants right now. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know. I can see that.
We're only doing this is like Zoom, right? Just from like the waist up. We're good. Okay.
Yeah. But I have another little camera. Okay.
Oh boy.
Just like the secret microphone in the bathroom that I have set up for
hello.
Yeah. Let's talk about number 3. This is from Brad. And we actually covered this on the last episode, but we thought, since it was just Captain Nick and I and Liz, we thought maybe this would be a good thing to kind of readdress on this show when somebody like Dr. Steph is here with us. So again, from Brad, this is Brad Nunn, the Airbus pilot for a big airline located in Charlotte. And we talked about I don't think you were with us when we talked about the hard landings. Or
I
maybe
was.
You were.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely was.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah,
the
we
same
talked about
Brad.
that. Same Brad.
Okay. Hello to the entire APG crew. It was great watching APG 514 and seeing everyone in attendance for a great podcast. While listening to the great comments and advice to Carolina Jeff, who is about to undertake flying lessons, I was thinking that a computer flight simulation software might be advantageous for him. Although it was not mentioned, I was curious about your thoughts and opinions if this would be helpful. I happen to own Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, X-Plane 11, and P3D, which are all very realistic home computer flight simulators. I'm not sure if any of you have any hands-on experience with these programs, but I think they would be extremely valuable for Carolina Jeff in his pre-lesson preparation. Again, just looking for your thoughts on this option. Thanks again for an amazing podcast, Blue Skies and Tailwinds. Thanks, Brad. Well, you know what? People like you sending in feedback so that we can answer it that's the key to making this a fantastic and amazing podcast. And I think we have I think I got a little overlay with a Microsoft Flight Sim in there, just to kind of give that plug, and so that it can pay us, So, oh no, or maybe I didn't do that. Oh well. So it doesn't matter. We all know what Microsoft FS 2020 or 2021 or whatever it looks like. Steph, what do you think? Do you think that would be a good idea for somebody like
I think it's a
Jeff?
very reasonable idea. I know we talked about Carolina Jeff and all of his stuff as well. I'm trying to remember all the details of what we
Yeah, he was asking for
discussed.
advice on like schools.
Yeah. We had a lot. I remember we talked a whole bunch about. We
Right.
spent a lot of time talking about it because we kind of thought that was helpful for potentially a lot of people out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. We definitely did not touch on flight simulators in terms of lesson preparation. So I personally have not done that. I don't own any flight simulators or computer-based flight simulators, but I know plenty of people who do. And I even know, it sounds like maybe so Brad, uses these for personal enjoyment, and I know folks who are pilots who like to fly certain approaches with them just to pull out their charts and Jeff, you look very confused right now. I'm sorry. I'm super
It's just
distracted by what's going on your screen. I'm
Liz,
going to have to start this
all of a
over
sudden-
because
so I'm sorry.
he's like his eyes got like really big. Like I thought he was like trying to get my attention or something.
Well, so for some reason, Liz's connection to me has been very, very faint. I can barely hear her, and all of a sudden something happened. Then it got back to the normal levels, and I had my gain like really, really super high, and she's like screaming at me in my ears.
Sorry, I could actually hear her too, so that was part of what was
You can see
distracting.
how loud it
Well,
was.
it was part of what was distracting. I was like, what am I listening to right now?
Okay, say something right now, Liz, just to kind of check your volume. Okay. Yeah, now it's down again. Okay, I'm going to leave
All
it
right.
on the low side just in case it kind of
I'm
decides
going
to
to
do the.
start over and I'm going to move my
Yeah,
screen
go.
so I don't have to look at your face right now.
Okay.
There we go.
I'll just go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So,
wait.
no, thanks. So, Brad, great question. Great advice for Carolina Jeff. I personally don't have really any experience with flight simulators or home computer based flight simulators, but I certainly have a lot of friends who do use flight simulators. Some who are pilots and some who are not pilots. And I know I can think of at least one person I know of who flies professionally, but because of seniority doesn't maybe fly every single day, who enjoys using the flight simulators just to look at various different approaches in different parts of the world, things that he might not fly in his day job. So that can be an interesting option for people who are looking to just get some realistic practice. I'm not sure in terms of for the like primary student. I think it would certainly help a lot for those who are instrument students, because I think you can really load approaches and potentially and do that type of thing with flight simulators. I think for primary students, it's more about getting the hands-on experience in the airplane, but maybe I'm wrong on that. So I'd actually be curious to know what folks in our community think. If there's folks out there who were using home computer-based flight simulators while they were doing primary private pilot training. That was a tongue twister for me. Was it useful for you? And if so, why was it? If not, why not? I think iHall Boxes is making the point that there's Redbird sim centers as well, which are a little bit more realistic in terms of simulation. It's not a home-based program, so not so easy to do in the privacy of your own home while you're just sitting and going over your flight lesson plans or some pre-lesson preparation. But if you can't go out flying, say if the weather's not great, it might be a good option if you have that available to you at your flight school. I've been to flight schools where they have them, and I've done a couple approaches in one of them, and yeah, it's pretty realistic. So even if it's not the full airline like Category D flight simulator.
Definitely helpful. Yeah, going through procedures and that kind of thing.
Yeah, procedures, flows. I think flight simulator can be very good for those types of things. Oh, I have to wear pants
Oh.
if I go there.
Yeah, you got to. That's the downside of the.
See, if you're
Redbird.
doing your home computer based flight simulator,
You,
pants optional.
you just be like Steph and I right now doing the show. No pants. All right. So thank you, Steph, for adding your 2 cents to the discussion regarding flight simulation and getting Carolina Jeff all prepped up for his upcoming lessons. And this is exciting. I can't wait to hear how this all goes for him.
Yeah.
And
And Jeff,
Brad
make sure
Nunn
you-
and
I was gonna say,
Carolina
Jeff, make
Jeff
sure you
and
send in
Steph.
feedback.
Oh yeah, we can. You know what? We'll have a Charlotte meetup, and then we can get some live feedback from Carolina Jeff.
Hey Jeff, who do we talk to about getting your schedule situated the correct way so that you have
I
Charlotte
don't
layovers?
know. We need to find somebody that knows what they're doing when it comes to. I might actually have a Charlotte layover or two next month. I'm not sure
nice.
though. I'll have to look.
Just in time for some nice spring weather. We can sit outside, enjoy a beer somewhere, and discuss
Yeah,
all things aviation.
absolutely. And pants. Okay.
We'll wear
number-
pants.
We will.
promise.
Oh yeah.
I will
Of s-
anyway.
Of some sort. Let's see, number 10. This is from Anonymous, and they say, "Hey crew." They want their name left out due to the kind of sensitive nature of the question. I have a problem. I don't like wearing pants. No, wait, no, that's something else. That's the problem I have. After many years of being a land-bound aviation enthusiast, I've decided to learn to fly. While doing research into the requirements for a first-class medical, I learned that the FAA doesn't take too kindly to even common mental health issues, such as anxiety. While my medical history doesn't automatically disqualify me, I realize that the path to getting my medical is going to be long and expensive. The internet is full of horror stories of aviation dreams being crushed by merciless AMEs. I realize the internet is not a reliable place when it comes to things of this nature, but it does beg the question: how do you go about finding a good and fair what's the AME stuff?
Aviation medical examiner.
Aviation medical examiner. Thank you. In the first place, AME. I appreciate your insight and thank you for all the hard work y'all put into the show. Best. And this is again from Anonymous. And I don't know if he wants us to use his opposing bases call sign.
We can skip it. I'm not sure. He wasn't
Yeah,
clear on that. So
we're gonna-
best just to play it safe, probably.
We're going to leave it anonymous.
Yeah. I mean, and he's not alone in his question. You know, things like this
Although,
have come up.
wait, hang on.
Oh.
I have to say that his issues are much more significant and concerning to me now that I realize he listens to opposing bases.
That is a medical condition in and of itself. But I
wouldn't
suppose
mention it to the AME.
I suffer from it too, and I definitely don't disclose it on my.
Yeah. I've never heard of the show. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
I've never met those guys.
I've never met those
I solemnly
guys.
swear. Never shared beers with them or
Nope, me neither.
discussed all things aviation related. Anyway, no, what I was thinking is that Anonymous, you are not alone in having these types of questions, and this is a tricky situation to navigate, right? Because like anything in life, I think not all AMEs are necessarily created equal. There are some out there who will seek out additional training and expertise for certain types of medical conditions that people suffer from, and they might become an expert in one area over another. And I'm certainly aware that there are AMEs out there who are more, kind of their subspecialty is seeing pilots who do have mental health issues, anxiety included, but certainly all different types of things. Folks who have a history of taking certain medications that maybe the FAA doesn't look favorably upon, and helping those pilots kind of navigate the system and figure out what they need to do as efficiently as possible and hopefully as cost effectively as possible to get the medical certification that they're looking for. How you go about finding those AMEs, that's tricky because they're not listed that way on the FAA website. So it's not easy to know if the AME that's local to you has any, special interest or area of expertise above and beyond just general medical practice. So I found that really kind of the best way to do this is actually word of mouth, and this can be tricky. If you're not really plugged into a network of pilots as of yet. But there's a lot of information out there on the internet, as you've noticed with all the horror stories. But to some extent, if you are suffering from something that from a medical condition that perhaps is a little bit trickier to get a medical with, I think it's a good idea to start to join different pilot groups, perhaps pose these questions to a wide variety of folks. You're kind of doing that here. So if anyone has any insight for Anonymous, if they've, you can certainly write to us also anonymously, and we can put the Anonymous folks in touch with Anonymous folks and see if we can spread that word of mouth that way. You can also always do a consultation with an AME. You don't have to go in with the express goal of getting your medical on that visit, just to say, hey, here's my past medical history, here's the medications I take, what hurdles or barriers do you think I would run into if I were to try to get a first, second, third class medical, for example. And any good aviation medical examiner should be able to give you that the courtesy of that type of consult. So that might be a good place to start as well. But yeah, it can be tricky, and I've seen certainly AMEs that I would highly recommend, and I've seen one or two out there that I really wouldn't send anyone to see, just because of different quirks and things that were not as good of an experience.
You do have to be careful with that, and I was trying to find a reference to an AME that has a reputation for really being great with people that have hard cases to deal with, like yours, Anonymous. And it's that reference was given to me by somebody who is very close to the APG, a big part of our APG community, and I have not been able to find said reference, but I think he's up in the Chicago area. I know that may not be anywhere near where you live.
Yeah, and just realize if you do have one of these trickier to navigate medical conditions, then you may need to travel to find the AMA that is going to be helpful for you, because there's a lot of generalized guidance given to AMEs where if there's something that comes up that is flagged, because it's basically going through a checklist of items, right? So it's, are you in good general health? Or if you have any of these conditions, that kind of gives you a secondary pathway to look at. And if there's things that come up, then basically they're either going to not issue the medical, do a denial, or send it to Oklahoma City for, for additional guidance for them, basically kind of a deferral, and then have to deal with whatever they end up saying about it. So I think before you go in with that piece of paper in hand to actually have your medical, just decided upon on that day, get the consultation first. And like I said, I think it's worthwhile reaching out to other large groups of pilots in different forums. There's good ones out there even on social media networks. You just have to make sure that you're kind of in with the right group of folks before you start taking, too much advice of what's being said.
All right. In my ear from the control room, Liz says that she has found the reference. That's right. That's it. Dr. Bruce, Chein, IEN, Bruce Ching, near Chicago. And so he might be he might be worth looking up. Because again, he has a great success record, and he deals with a lot of people with these kind of issues that could be a little bit, more difficult or, complicated.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of, there's actually a fair number of medical conditions out there that fall outside of the rubric or template that the FAA gives to AMEs. So if they are going through your stuff and they go, well, this doesn't match with anything, then it basically gets deferred and sent off as well. And then you might be sent down a rabbit hole of all kinds of additional testing, expense, doctor's visits. So it's really important before you go in for that initial visit with your AME to make sure that you're with an AME that knows how to take care of the specific problem that you have.
Right. Exactly. And yes, Liz, I will make sure that we put that in the show notes for reference to anybody out there who might have a more difficult case than normal that they have to navigate to get their medical certificate. So, all right, very good. Thank you, Liz, for finding that for me. I was frantically trying to do that search myself, and I just wasn't stumbling upon it.
I know we've talked about it a few times in the past. I would take forever to go back through those
Bolingbrook,
shows.
Illinois.
Oh, Bolingbrook. It's a suburb of
Illinois.
Chicago.
Okay, a Chicago suburb. And is very sought out and very busy, so you have to be tenacious when it comes to, trying to get their attention.
And fight for yourself, advocate for yourself. Just don't forget that these are just people on the other side of the coin as well. All of these doctors and medical professionals that you're seeing, even the powers that be in Oklahoma City. So make sure you're standing up for yourself, and if something doesn't seem right, keep fighting for it.
Hey, speaking, every time I think of an AME and the trouble that some people have with color blindness, and you remember we talked about some of it, and we've had it on our show a few times, where people have done the standard book, whatever they call that book again. It's a Japanese name. Ishirawara.
That's I forget
the one.
The exact name.
Yeah. And a lot of people, when they can't pass that test, then they go, "Well, I'm sorry, can't be a pilot." Well, then
not even realizing there's a whole litany of other tests
AME
that can
obviously
determine
doesn't
different types
know.
of.
Yeah. So that device that they use to determine whether it's a green light, red light, whatever, and you stand a certain. Last time I was doing my medical at the AME that I use, I noticed right there on the table was one of these. I thought, what the heck is that? And then I know what that thing is. It's one of those fancy lights that they have in case you can't do the Ishiwara test.
Yes, that one.
That one.
And sometimes you can do demonstratability tests and things like that.
Yeah.
So if you come up against something that seems like a barrier or a hurdle, doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the road.
I just thought it was cool that the guy that I use
actually
has one of those things in his office.
The stuff to be able to do it, because
this guy obviously knows that.
Yeah, and I don't know that they're
more to it.
necessarily required to have that equipment themselves. They could probably make the referral out to someone else to have that testing done.
Yeah.
I know there's kind of a base standard of equipment they need to have if they're doing second and third class medicals and then first class medicals. So.
Yeah.
And a lot of these AMEs, their regular day job it could really be in any medical specialty. So they're going to come from all different backgrounds of medicine as well. And it might be something that they do on a full-time basis. They might only do aviation medical exams, or they might have a busy practice with whatever their specialty is.
Mm-hmm. Liz was just telling me that Dr. Bruce Cheen is an anesthesiologist.
There you go.
His specialty.
Mm-hmm.
So watch out if he's trying to put something over your mouth. He's probably trying to put you to sleep. Just a warning.
Anesthesiologists can be backstabbers too.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of overlap in our field sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Well, we were able to have a little bit of time with our favorite APG crew member, Dr. Steph.
Aww.
And we missed you on the last show. We're glad that you were able to make it on this one. And hopefully we'll see you again next week. And
yeah, I hope so. I'm planning on not traveling for at least a little bit of time here. So hopefully we can make all of our schedules line up. Love to be back on the show with all of you guys.
Oh, yeah. Liz says, this is from Mark Anderson, a cardiologist, and works for the CAA. If you get to sent to see a specialist, it must be one who is familiar with the aviation regulation requirements to do the right tests and write a report that contains the information needed. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Very, very important. Thank you, Mark, for that. And yeah, I'm sure that there is going to be even more information and advice sent in from those who are listening to this particular piece of feedback, and we welcome that, of course, and hopefully we can help out Anonymous and whoever else out there may have the actual or the same kind of concerns regarding getting a medical certificate. Our community is great, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
In our live audience is a cardiologist. That's amazing. You know what we should do, since this is the end of the show, we should probably just do our end of the show routine.
Yeah, we could do that.
And so I'll say thank you for listening to our show today. We do appreciate that. And tell all your friends. And we have a website called Airline Pilot Guy. Lots of different stuff there on that website that you can check out. Information about the crew and the community calendar and APG library. We have information about the Plain Tales and merchandise. And I did mention the calendar when I talked about the community. Yeah. And so much more. So head over to airlinepilotguide.com and check it out. And we are also on the social medias. Steph?
We are. You can check out our Facebook page. We're at facebook.com/airlinepilotguy. We're also on Twitter. We're at APG Crew, and our individual Twitter handle information is pinned to the top of the page, I think. I should double check that. I haven't looked in a while. And you can also find us on Instagram. We're APG Crew there. I'm not even going to pretend like I post Nick's artwork there anymore. But
She's
maybe I'll get
all
back
over
to
it.
it at some point in the future.
I doubt it.
I
Don't
doubt
even
it
say
too.
it anymore.
I know. I'm not going to. Well, watch. I'll go do it right now. I'll post some of his artwork there. It's really not that difficult.
That's the way you get Steph to do stuff. Tell her she's never going to do it. So just just give up.
Yeah. Just give up.
Never tell Steph that she can't do something. She'll prove you wrong. All right. And let's see. We're also on something that's kind of a quasi-social media thing called Slack. And we have, of course, Hillel. He's always, hey, Hillel, do you have time for Slack?
Okay, but I'm dripping wet.
I know. We're used to it. Come on over here. He was doing some bomb disposal, Liz says, in the shower. Kind of like Kramer, making salad.
The
or
beeping
whatever.
here stopped. I'm not sure if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Or did Hillel get here in the meantime?
Hillel must have been there first before he
just
headed
that
over
good.
here to my bathroom.
It's just that good.
Yeah, he is. He's an awesome guy. Well, tell us about Slack, Hillel.
APG listeners, please join us on our Slack team. Slack is a communication, coordination, and sharing platform that works on your mobile, laptop, or browser. On Slack, we share news and ideas, we suggest episode and Plain Tales topics, we plan events and meetups. To get into the Slack team, please email me at slack@airlinepilotguy.com. That's SLACK, Sierra Lima Alpha Charlie Kilo @airlinepilotguy.com, or send me a tweet with your preferred email address to @Hillel, and I'll send you an invitation. That's Hillel, spelled Hotel India 11 Echo 1, and see you in Slack.
Thanks a lot, Hillel. We do appreciate
Sorry,
it.
Jeff, I might have used all your skin lotion.
Okay. Well, at least he's being honest. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to go to the store and pick up some more skin lotion. And also, we'd like to say a big thank you to our producer, director, control room person. Yay. There she is, Liz in Toronto.
Hi, everybody. My pleasure. Great to see
Thank you
Steph
very
back.
much. Yes. And that does it for this week's show. And until next time, we're wishing you clear skies, unlimited visibility, and tailwinds. Talons, Douglas.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Was that Truman or
That's Truman.
Taco? That's what I thought. It sounded like Truman.
Yeah.
He said goodbye too.
He was saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me talk a lot about running and not as much about aviation, I think, but it was good.
Well, there's some connection there, I'm sure. You took aviation to get up.
I did
there
have
and
to
back.
fly to get there and back. Yep.
Yeah, and you had a community member watching for you, so that was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
ties in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me turn off my recorder. Boom.
Yeah.
It is off. How about yours, Steph? You're off? Well,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm off. Yes.
Yes, she's definitely off.
Man, the pollen here is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
My nose is so itchy right now. It doesn't really feel like allergies. It's just like the amount of pollen that has made its way into my nasal
Like
passage
dust.
is very irritating. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, my nose, I just saw my camera. I'm like, wow, my nose is really red.
It's a good look.
It is a good
Rudolph.
look. You look very healthy. You got some sun down in Mexico there, and
I did. I got sunburned
probably
in Boston
running
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I got sunburned. I got sunburned both places, Mexico and Boston. Very different weather, but I mean, it was very sunny on Monday in Boston. 50 degrees.
Anybody have any show title ideas from this little segment? I don't really have anything, but just if anything came to mind. Nope, that's fine.
Maskless and pantsless? I don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
I like it. I'm
I
going to
do
write
like
it
that.
down.
Starlink Vink to Jeff. What does that mean?
I don't know. Is that some
Starlink-
sort of
Oh,
Starlink like insider
Vink? I don't
wink
know what
wink?
a Vink is.
You're not down with all the...
I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I guess I.
Maybe
I
it's
have
kind of a.
I had the secret handshake thing going on, but
that's what it
I
is.
don't know what a Vink is. Look, Mom, no pants. Nice. They said masks are no longer required, not pants. Kind of a long title.
That's
But
a long title. Yeah.
I'm sure Nick would actually
Nick
go
will
for
figure
that.
it out. Yeah.
yeah, he might. He might.
No masks? I thought you said no pants.
Oh, so he's saying Starlink Vink was revealed. Maybe Mr. Musk, maybe this is something he talked about in his call or something.
Starlink Vink. Well, I guess I gotta have to do a search for that then. Figure what the heck that means. What do we got here? Starlink.
We're all doing the same thing here.
Nothing comes up.
Nope. I've got Vink Lawn and Gardening.
Does he mean wink? Let's put wink because maybe Arnie is using a accent.
Yeah, yes, maybe he is.
Oh, wait a minute. Musk responded to Kreider with a wink regarding Dogecoin. No, that's not it. I don't know.
Nope.
We're in the dark.
We're in the dark, as usual.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a little chat before we let Steffi go. So,
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Sounds good. We'll see.
bye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye.
dropping in.
See y'all.
See you tomorrow. Hopefully, some